Well, it's midweek, Wednesday, the 6th of November 2019. Well, we're gradually counting down to Christmas. Welcome this morning to the program, The Platform, the second edition for the week. Today is Wednesday, like I said earlier. And today, we're taking a look at the Nddc affairs. And also, we're also taking a look at a statement made by the APC Chairman, Adams Oshiomhole. This is the pinnacle of all discussions right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. My name is Michael Oni. Now, fresh trouble looms in the Niger Delta Development Commission as the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, asked the newly confirmed board members to take over the affairs of the agency immediately. They were confirmed yesterday. And the Senate President stated this after the upper chamber confirmed them. They had confirmed their appointment as a nominee. Now they are now members of the board. You remember that their names were forwarded to the Senate last week. And the Senate President also said that the law setting up the Nddc does not recognize any interim arrangement once a board is in place. I recall that the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, had set up an interim management team that will be in place for 6 months to oversee a forensic audit of the agency. That forensic audit, as said by the President, that there should be a forensic audit. But Lawan said that the new board members should take over immediately according to the law setting up the Nddc. He added that inaugurating the new board members would not affect the works of the forensic auditors. Lawan also asked the Senate Committee on the Nddc to be alive to its responsibilities by carrying out its oversight functions. First to be confirmed on that board was the former Deputy Governor of Edo State, Dr. Pius Odubo, as the chairman of the board, followed by the nominee for the position of Managing Director, Bernard Okumagba. The Senate also confirmed the nominee for the position of the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, Maxwell Oko, from Bayelsa State. Others confirmed by the Red Chamber include Delta State Representative Jones Erui, Victor Ekhato from Edo State, and also the representative from Abia State, Unwogu, after all the controversies. Others are Theodore Allison, representing Bayelsa State, Victor Anta from Akwa Ibom State, Maurice Efiwat from Cross River State, Olubenga Elama from Ondo State, and Uchegbu Krain from Imo State. Now, meanwhile, a nominee was left out. 15 of them were confirmed out of the 16 nominees forwarded by President Muhammadu Buhari to the National Assembly for confirmation as board members of the Niger Delta Development Commission. Dr. Joy Yimebe Nunye, that's a nominee from Rivers State, who is the current managing director of the interim management board of the agency, shunned the Senate screening. She was not present, and of course, she wasn't confirmed yesterday. So these are some of the things we will be taking a look at this morning. We're looking at the confusion and the impending disagreement between the presidency and the National Assembly as the plight of the people of Niger Delta, including Abia State, remains unattended. On the flip side also, we're also going to take a look at the APC's National Chairman Adams Oshiomhole's declaration that President Muhammadu Buhari can run the country from anywhere in the world. This shall equally be on the front burner this morning. Joining us this morning is a member of the APC in Abia State, Chief Mike Ozoemena, and also a member of the PDP, as well as a media consultant, Ugochukwu Emezue. And this is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. Welcome on board. Right, Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue, thank you very much for joining us this morning on the conversation.
Thank you.
Okay, you're so much aware with the confusion, the impending disagreements between the presidency and the National Assembly on the plight of the people of Niger Delta as it concerns the NDDC. That particular board has been on the front burner for the past weeks or thereabout.
Absolutely.
How legitimate is the contentious steering committee that was set up by Godswill Akpabio, the Minister of for Niger Delta Affairs, for the NDDC?
Basically, I'm looking beyond what is happening between Akpabio and the National Assembly and, of course, his people. I'm tying it to politics. Let me tell you the politics that is playing out in the Niger Delta. You know that Chibika Amici, the Minister of Transportation,
yes,
is supposed to be the leader of the APC in the South.
Is supposed to
be.
Why do you think he's supposed to? Because there are other persons that also qualify for that position.
He is the highest, as at the time he joined APC, was the highest contributor to that platform, and of course he dived into it and took all the risk, and of course he was appointed as a minister, so he was seen as the leader in the zone. But naturally, you begin to see other leaders emerging. We now have the former governor for Akwa Ibom State, Akpabio, also coming up and becoming a minister. We also have the former governor of Bayelsa State, who is also the minister of Petroleum State. So what is playing out is going beyond what we are seeing that is happening. But the question is this: is it right for Akpabio to appoint an interim government when in actual fact there are people that are about to be sworn in, that is the board already being screened and of course won't be inaugurated soon? So I believe that there was no haste in appointing an interim board, since there is also those that have been nominated by Mr. President and they were to be screened. And for how many days? And don't forget also, have you asked yourself, why is it that Mr. President called for a forensic audit of NDDC? And up till today, nothing has happened. And I can tell you that forensic audit of that NDDC has been quagmired.
Well, do you think
there will be a statement?
Akpabio should have
he should have waited.
An interim steering committee.
I thought that he would have waited to now accommodate those people that have been screened by Mr. President, who are constitutionally going to man that place. But having done this, I believe that he's just running ahead of time. And we begin to ask, is there anything that is missing? So for me, this idea of the NDDC is tied to politics. And don't also forget, they are also accusing Akpabio. You know, Nkere Esima ran for the governorship of Akwa Ibom State, and he was immediate past MD of the NDDC. And they are saying that the man there is trying to use this thing to cover his political song.
A lot of issues as it concerns.
I can tell you that this is politics playing out. So in the days to come, we are going to see what is going to happen.
Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue, we will get back to you. Let's quickly have Chief Michael Zoimena, who is joining us on the phone this morning. Welcome to the program, Chief Michael Zoimena.
Thank you very much, and good to hear from you again.
Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations to you on the confirmation of your candidate, Unwogu, as the NDDC member. You must be a happy man, given the fact that he came from your divide of the APC in Abia State.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are very happy indeed. Every lover of progress should be happy. When God blesses a man, you don't stop it. So for us, it was just a question of God using our leader, Chief Menike, to bless Wogu. And somebody from somewhere saying that he is not of APC, which is not true. Of course, Mr. President has rubbished that notion that our divide is not APC. So we are happy. We are congratulating the president, and then of course Wogu, for that feat he has achieved. It's not easy. This NDDC is where every one of them wants to be, and then for him to have achieved it, it's something to be grateful to God about. So we are happy. I am happy, and then I'm sure every Abian, who loves peace, who loves progress, is also happy.
Okay, now I hope with this confirmation now, all outstanding issues as it concerns Unwogu, as the NDC board member representing Abia State have been resolved?
There has never been any problem at all. Don't forget that Nwogu is the only rep that was reappointed. Every other person there now is a new appointee.
Just a moment, Chief Mike. I will disagree with you if you say there has been no issue, because I understand that some youths in the extraction of Abia State protested against the nomination of Nwogu. Just like some part of the APC also disagreed with that nomination. So I don't know if you're aware of all this disagreement.
No. It's just a stump in the teacup. You understand? I listened to Ms. Wynn this morning talking about politics. It was all about politics. It was about selfishness. You know, people who believe they cannot reach Nwogu, we are those people, you know, even from the other side of the right, who says, you know, it's supposed to be us. Don't forget, in 2015, some people went and gave their own name, even though they were not from Upper West. This place, as far as the act is concerned, is statutorily for Asa people, for Upper West people. And Nwogu is from Upper West. Who is the youth? When the elders, when the chiefs, when the elders, the royal highnesses of the place had written to the Mr. President and thanked him for appointing Nwogu. Who else will say anything? All the opinion molders, opinion speakers, all of them said Nwogu is the right after being a man. So what else? He has all the qualifications. He has been there before. So what are we talking about? I mean, at the Senate floor, he just took a bow because they said we have screened you before and found you worthy. So what are we screening right now? So for somebody to say somebody who has served one term is no more qualified to start the second term, I mean, it's not true. For us, my dear, there was no issue at all because we know that Mr. President, who appointed him, didn't just wake up in the night and appointed him. He looked at his credentials before nominating him, and we are happy today that he is a designate to represent Abia. We are happy.
All right, Chief Mike, before I let you go this morning, are you worried that the National Assembly is in disagreement with the presidency on the interim steering committee inaugurated by the Minister of Niger Delta?
No, they are not. They are not quarreling with the President. They are quarreling with the Minister, who, of course, is playing to the gallery.
The Minister represents the presidency here.
No. It is also the President who submitted the names and asked the Senate to screen these people. So if Mr. President wanted interim board, he wouldn't have written the same week. So the point is that only Akpabio knows what he is looking for. I am sure that once Mr. President comes back from his break, these people will be sworn into office, just like the Senate have told them to go and take over. That the interim board is as illegal as hell. So for us, it doesn't exist. We are waiting maybe this week or next week. These guys will take over their offices. There is nothing like that. Mr. President is clear on it. He has sent a covering letter to the Senate. Please screen these people as members of the board. The man he doesn't drink, so he's not a drunk. So he knows what he was doing when he wrote that letter. And so for us, Fabio should better tell us what he wants from Nddc. But right now, Nddc will have their board before the end of this month. They will have their board.
Chief Michael Zoimena, your national president, I'm talking about Adams Oshiomhole, APC national chairman. I'm happy you mentioned that the president is outside the country on vacation, although it's been said that it's a private visit. Now, the national president of your party declared...
Not vacation, private visit.
Okay, private visit. Let's put it that way. Now, the national president declared that the president can run the country from anywhere in the world. Looking at the fact that the Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, took a bill to faraway London, boarded a flight and landed in London to sign a bill when we had the vice president in the country, who we actually thinking would have oversaw the affairs of that particular bill. I don't know what your reaction will be on this particular issue.
My dear, I support my national chairman 100%. Mr. President is hale and hearty. Mr. President can sign any document anywhere in the world. Mr. President is fit for his office. He is already on private as a human being. He is entitled to his own personal life. So for us, there is absolutely nothing wrong with Mr. President signing a bill. Meanwhile, you know that he hasn't handed over because, I mean, it's not a long visit, it's not a long vacation. So he has not handed over to the vice president. So there are no two presidents in Nigeria. What we have is the president and vice president. And the president is still on seat, even though he's in London today. But, he didn't say the law is clear on it, that unless he is staying more than 14 days, then he will hand over to his vice president. But I'm sure you know that in the next 2 or 3 days, Mr. President will be back to his office. So what are we talking about? Why are we making noise about something that doesn't exist? As far as we're concerned, I support my chairman. The president can sign. Mr. President is still the president of Nigeria, even if he's in USA. Even if he's in anywhere, he is still the president. And so there is no issue about that.
All right, Chief Michael Zoemena, thank you very much for joining us on the conversation this morning on the platform.
I appreciate you. Thank you much.
All right. Well, there we have Chief Michael Zoemena, a member of the APC, and we still have a member of the PDP here, Senior Special Advisor to the Governor, Abia State Governor, right here also in the studio, Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue. Now, let's get back to the issue of Nddc. Do you see any clash of interest here?
Of course, there's clash of interest.
From where? From who? And
between Akpabio,
okay,
and of course the incoming board.
Okay.
Whether anybody likes it or not, Mr. President had already asked the National Assembly to screen these guys. And of course, they'll be sworn in any moment from now. But what I'm telling you is that, you see, all that is happening is tilting towards 2023. And if you're a political observer, you know that virtually everybody is looking at 2023.
So, are you saying the power play for 2023 has begun?
Of course. The Silver is also part of this, threesome arrowheads in the Niger Delta. And I've told you.
Why is Nddc in the front burner of everything here?
Because that is the honeypot. That is where the money is. That is where they dip and do whatever they want to do. That is where you have contracts that you award to people. I'm sure you heard Cairo Jobo saying that somebody had no less than about 300 contracts on his own name, a senator, sitting senator, but he refused to mention the name. And billions of naira goes into that person's account. But I would have asked him to have mentioned that name of the person. That is why we also ask that this corruption that they are fighting, is it particularly for some people or not for some people? So as far as we are concerned, that place has become a cesspool, a conduit pipe where money are being filtered away. And you give them that assignment, they go and they don't do anything. We have it in Abia State here, scattered, which they did not do. So what we are saying is that, Mr. President, let me also tell you, I've said it.
Okay.
Michael, mark my word. This forensic audit of Nddc may not see the light of the day.
Why?
Because I would have expected Mr. President to have appointed a sole administrator. You want to, clean the organ table, and you're appointing another board. What do you think that they're coming there to do?
Maybe that's what the Minister of Foreign Affairs wanted to achieve by appointing an interim steering committee.
No. Akpabio does not have, because he's an interested party.
Okay.
He's an interested party. He would have allowed Mr. President to have appointed a sole administrator, give him mandate 6 months. I want you to go and do the needful, clean that place. So why are you now introducing an array of people to now come in? And of course they have interest. And let me also say it. The man that just spoke, concerning Abia APC, I'm not their member, but I should think that whenever we finish election, we should all come together for the interest of our state. I don't know who Nwogu is. He has represented Abia State on the board in the past.
I know he's a citizen of this state.
That's what I'm saying. I say I don't know him personally.
Okay.
But he is coming from the oil producing area. So why would APC members in Abia State still fighting their own? That is the question. What are you fighting him for? If Mr. President could nominate him and he's been screened, and don't also forget, in the Senate we have 2 PDP members against 1 APC member. So it means that if the PDP members could also agree in screening Nwogu and saying take a bow, means that all of us should work in the interest of the state. So this party in Abia State called APC, they are fighting against themselves. I can tell you that. And that is what we don't want, because when election is over, we are talking of dividends of democracy. So I think they should allow the man to function there. But we are giving him a charge, not to be a bigot, to be a tribalist. He should ensure that this time around, any project that is coming to Abia State must be done well, not just getting contracts and people go away with the money.
I would like us to listen to what transpired on the Red Chambers yesterday as it concerns this particular nomination. And of course, we cross over on the flip side. We're killing one bird with two stones this morning. We're taking a look at the board members that were confirmed by the Senate yesterday. And of course, not forgetting that, Mr. Ugochukwu here, not forgetting that the woman that was in charge of that interim steering committee that was set up by the minister was not part of those confirmed yesterday.
Honestly,
he didn't appear during the screening, the Senate screening.
She didn't appear. I was worried. But let me also tell you, I watched that woman. I don't know. She has guts. Honestly, she has guts.
What do you mean by she has guts?
Yes, because she was saying that some people are coming to Nddc every month to collect about 1 billion.
Dr. Joy Nunez.
Absolutely.
So she
was very brave to have revealed this. I'm sure it has ruffled some feathers. That is the truth. So
probably the reason she wasn't confirmed. She didn't appear before the Senate.
But I am blaming her. Why didn't you go there and be screened? If at all Mr. President has honored you by nominating you, and you have such, let me use the broken word, you have such a bakara. I would have thought that the woman should have gone there and be screened, and she will be part of the members, and she will now help the members and those who will audit that place to now tell us what is going in Nddc. So I'm not happy that she didn't go, honestly.
All right, she's representing, she should have represented Rivers State because, but who knows, probably tomorrow she might be confirmed.
Are you now seeing the connection of my analysis? Okay. She's from Rivers State, Amechi is from Rivers State, and you could see there's some kind of subterranean political intrigues going on as far as Nddc is concerned. It's playing out, and we will get there.
All right, let's listen to what transpired on the floor of the Red Chambers yesterday as it concerns the confirmation of those, the 16 of them, the 16 nominees. They are now members of the Niger Delta Development Commission, including the man representing Abia State, Nwogu.
2019, consider the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for the confirmation of the nomination of the chairman and members of the governing board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, and refer same to the Committee on Niger Delta for further legislative action. The committee requested for the credentials, including the necessary security confirmation for all the nominees, and resolved to conduct an open screening on Thursday, 31st October 2019. The committee also resolved to be guided during the screening by the following modalities: that the necessary documents for each nominee be secured before the commencement of the screening, that the screening should be held in the open. Distinguished colleagues, all the nominees that presented themselves were screened and their credentials are contained here in the report. With the permission of Mr. President, I can go to the findings, Mr. President.
Yes, please.
Through the screening exercise conducted on the nominees, the committee finds that educational qualification and the vast experience of nominees will impact positively on the development of Niger Delta development.
Anyways, that presentation led to the confirmation of 15 of them. And we are waiting what will happen or may happen when the president comes back to the country to take a look at the three-man interim management committee that was set up by the minister, and what will be the fate of the board members. Is there going to be a clash of interest here between the presidency and the National Assembly? Impending disagreement that we will let you decide on the program. But on the flip side, let's go straight to our second topic of discussion this morning on the platform.
I think by signing into law in London, in Nigeria House in London, it shows that wherever the president is, he's presiding over Nigeria. And with the benefit of modern technology and so on, we are past the Mokopak era. So in signing it in London, for me, has also made several statements. Namely, that wherever national interest is involved, the president is on duty. Wherever he is presiding. And I also want to salute
President Muhammadu Buhari can preside over Nigeria from wherever he is, wherever he is in anywhere in the world. That's according to the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole. He made that statement during a courtesy visit to the Senate President Ahmed Lawan. That was yesterday. His comment is coming on the heels of the backlash to the president for signing an amended Nigerian law in the UK, where he's currently on a private visit. Now, Mr. Buhari embarked on that private 2 weeks visit to the UK. He did not hand over power to Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo before his trip, indicating he would continue to exercise presidential functions from the UK. Mr. Buhari's chief of staff, Abba Kyari, on Monday flew to London to submit a new bill on offshore oil fields to the president for assent. Now, the chief of staff to the president, Abba Kyari, many Nigerians have condemned that move, wondering why taxpayers' funds would be used to fly Mr. Abba Kyari to London for a function that could have simply been ceded to the vice president. I don't know what you make of this, Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue, this morning. Do you think the president can govern from anywhere in the world?
Michael, let me say this and say it categorically clear. Our president is an embodiment of the nation and the power. Besides the president of America, I think our president is one of the most powerful presidents in the world today.
Okay.
Why am I saying this? Wherever Mr. President is, that is where the presidency is. That is a fact. Technically, it's a fact.
So the president can govern from anywhere in the world.
Now let me come, because there are two sides to it.
Okay.
Is there any law in our nation today that says that Mr. President cannot sign any bill outside Nigeria? I want somebody to controvert me. Is there any law against that? But much as we are looking at this from the legal point of view, we are also looking at it from the moral point of view. Why am I saying this? We want to wake up the consciousness of Nigerians and our people to say, Mr. President has a lot of awesome power. You recall that when Yar'Adua died, it was quite impossible for Jonathan to assume power because there was no legal aspect that will confirm him immediately. That was why the Senate came out with what we call the doctrine of necessity that conferred powers on him. And I'm sure today we've amended our law so that at the end of the day, that has been straightened. You also remember in Kogi State, when Audu died,
yes,
it was impossible for them to replace him because our law did not capture that when you have a governor elect and he dies, whether the running mate will run in or not. And after that, it has been strengthened. So what is happening today is that Mr. President has not run foul of any law. But on the other side, on the flip side...
Okay, I will allow you to land before I ask
the question is, why wouldn't Mr. President hand over to the Vice President when he is traveling? That is another one. So it places the burden on the Senate and the National Assembly to look into our laws to say, is it actually right for Mr. President to have gone out without handing over?
It's been rumored that there is a rancor between the office of the president and the vice president. Some persons might be saying this is a confirmation that there might be some fire burning under the pot here. So,
well, as a political analyst, I'm looking at the intrigues that is running in the villa.
Okay.
Without even going far, some people have profiled that, look, when Mr. President was away some time ago, Osinbajo, I must give it to him, a gentleman, a lawyer of repute, a senior advocate of Nigeria, ruffled a lot of feathers by taking the bull by the horn and sacking the man that was seen as the backbone of Mr. President. And when Mr. President came back, you and I know what happened. Today, they are seeing Osinbajo as somebody who have actually ruffled the feathers. And you could see
that has not been confirmed anyway.
I'm telling you, that is the intrigue. Those are those things. We call it unseen politicking that is going on. How come that a vice president that acted very well when Mr. President was away? Look at even the case of Onogen. Who confirmed Onogen? Oshibajo? What has happened to Onogin? Who gave what's this man? Obla. Who gave him the job is Mr. Vice President. What has happened? So look at all those signatures of Mr. President. Even the man that replaced the DSS man. You know, Oshibajo appointed somebody.
Yes.
What happened to the man? So without going far, by computation, by permutation,
so the body language of the presidency
is
signifying that there might be issues with the office of the vice president.
Something is absolutely wrong. Do you also know that of recent, some of those things that Mr. Vice President used to do in the villa has been taken off him. Even his staff have been asked to relocate out of the villa. That one is confirmed. And of course, a new ministry, the Vice President was given this opportunity to run the trader money. And now, this woman that has been said to, in quote, to say President wanted to marry
those are allegations not confirmed and debunked by the presidency.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But what we are saying that those things have been stripped up, Mr. Vice President. So, mere looking at those things, it gives the suggestion that something is actually going wrong. And if Mr. President truly, like he has already confirmed that he trusted the Vice President, I would have thought that he should continue in that trajectory to still support him. But to now allow an Abba Kyari, of course, Mr. President told you that Abba Kyari, everybody will be submitting to him. But for him to have allowed, not even the Vice President taking that bill, it would have been an honor for the Vice President to have taken that bill to his principal in the UK and for him signing. But for it to be
the Vice President might be occupied with some other functions.
With trader money.
Well, some other functions in Nigeria.
But Michael, the truth is that, like I've said, categorically, Mr. President has not run foul of any law. But morally speaking, we are trying to awake the consciousness of Nigerians to say, can we say never again in our history will a Nigerian president be, whether in London, whether in the US, and be signing a law and people are clapping? These are the things that I want us to raise, and that is where the National Assembly has to come in now. Look at that issue. Is it proper? What do we do so that we can initiate a law? Just as we are asking Mr. President, there's an election coming up in Bayelsa
and Kogi
State, and we are talking of card reader. And you and I know that, in all honesty, the card reader cannot stand the test of time. And up till now, Mr. President has not said, look, I am going to put in serious amendment into the Electoral Act. Nothing has happened. So everybody is keeping quiet. By 2023, they will now come up with the law. And before you know it, time will overtake and we will be in what we call a circus, merry-go-round. So for me, I should think that Nigerians will begin to ask questions now. What do we do? Can we enact a law that will stop Mr. President from leaving signing the bill in another land? And of course, waking the consciousness of the Senate and the House of Reps. Did Mr. President actually did something good by not handing over to the Vice President? God forbid, if Mr. President there is a bit incapacitated, what happens? We have it in Yaradua situation where people were shielding Yaradua. Things were taken from Nigeria to go and give to Yaradua. We didn't know whether it was Yaradua that was signing or whether it was not Yaradua. And up till now, we are now gradually slipping into that. So these are the things that we are waking our consciousness and say, as Nigerians,
but there were pictures, and the president has sent it to.
No, I'm not saying that anything is wrong.
Okay.
But we are all human beings. We are like a flower. In the morning we blossom.
Okay.
In the evening we go down. Anything can happen, and your Creator calls you home. Are we saying that if anything happens, I'm giving a Yaradua situation, must we be in that kind of circuit? But for the loving memory of somebody like Dora Akunyele, who was also in the same party with the PDP, and of course one of the most cherished ministers then, came out and spoke out and condemned what was happening. So I am also expecting such people now to show up and be strong and say it. What Oshimala has said, technically Mr. President, anywhere he is, as long as he did not hand over to the Vice President, is ruling the country.
All right, let's take the conversation to our listener. If you want to be part of this conversation, very interesting conversation we've had today. We spoke about the Nddc, the confirmation of 15 of them as board members, and of course the clash of interest, the interim steering committee, and also the board members now. Who will be in charge of the Niger Delta Development Commission? Is it the three-man member? Well, these are some of the things we are taking a look at this morning on the program. And also, is it right for the president to assent to a very important bill outside Nigeria on the floor on the land, UK's land.
Some have also argued that he signed it inside our embassy,
Nigeria's embassy.
So whatever that has happened in the embassy, but the fact is that if a lawyer is listening, he can quote the law where the president is barred from signing a bill outside. But if we cannot find that, then Nigerians should come to the devil and say never and never again.
If you want to be part of the conversation, it's 0808 182 6949. You can also call 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, hello, Michael.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Michael Ogweli, calling from Ogo.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't think it's right for you to have a national discussion like this and have just one-sided, what do you call it?
Okay. Just a moment. Did you follow the program from the beginning?
Yeah.
Did you follow the program from the beginning?
The person who called you, who you called,
yes,
spoke on just the issue that concerned that. Now, if you place the same questions, right, asking the same questions as regards what is happening in Abia State, you will find excuses. Just the same way.
I don't want. Just a moment. I don't know. I asked.
In the studio, there should be an APC person.
You've laid your point. I don't know. I don't know what. If you have issues with him, I think you should settle outside the studio because you are attacking him right now. You should go ahead with what I asked.
He has been writing some of this.
Because we had an APC man
getting petty on certain issues.
All right, go ahead and make your opinion.
Even when he calls.
That you see, you're going personal now by saying when he calls. Okay, that is one of the reasons why.
I don't even understand where he's coming from.
Mr. Ogo, let me respond to this. I don't know. We had Michael Zoemena here earlier before I had to even cut him so that Mike can respond to some of these issues. So we have to be very, very careful. Let's not attack the issues. Let's not attack the person. Let's attack the issues here. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Kwemeze.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I am Mr. Benjamin K.E. Umeze. I'm calling you from Odingwa.
Go ahead,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right.
Yeah, what I want to say as regards to the Nddc concerning Wogumoga and Abia State, yes, it's the right thing that at least Abia State has somebody now that will be representing, whether he's from the other side of the divide of APC or not. But all we know that Abia State has somebody representing us at the Nddc level. Now, concerning President Buhari, I think that President have every right to sign the deal anywhere he may be in this planet Earth. And for anyone to say that he did not transmit power to Sibanjo, to me, I did not, maybe Sibanjo was supposed to go, or Sibanjo is the one supposed to sign it. That's not the issue, because Sibanjo has not even been talking. He has not even said, this is self, we are fighting ourselves. That man also is a quiet man, that is not even bothering him. He's doing his work, or maybe he might be occupied with some certain things that have made him not to do that. And Buhari has not said that there is an issue between the two of them. So for Buhari to sign the budget any year, to me, it is considered since Buhari did not transmit power. And the constitution say after 21 days, and now Buhari said that he's going on a private visit for 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks is 14 days. Now after 21 days, the Senate can do anything they want to do based on what the Constitution says. But for now, anybody can take any bill to President Buhari, whether anybody, and he will sign it until after 2 weeks. So all these rancor from the opposition, to me, I don't like it. Let's allow this man Buhari and his school to govern this country. After 3 years, it's just next tomorrow. So that we will get into another election. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, welcome. Can you please move away from your radio set? Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm speaking with Super Shuku.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm calling from Mr.
You're welcome.
I want to discuss on the issue of Mr. President traveling for so long and saying that the power have not been issued to the Vice President. You see what we have been talking about in APC. There is no how you would serve as a sitting president without giving a function to the vice.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, thank God for what we have seen. This is all what APC have to offer. This is what we'll be telling people all about APC.
All right. Well, thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, hello, good morning, Michael.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Chido, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, about Nwogu's nomination and also screening is a right step in the right direction. The truth is this: most of politicians are selfish in nature. You can see that most of the APC members in other states have been agitating that they should remove Nwogu. That is not a grounded politician in their side, and all the rest of them. He has not been home and all that. And that is one of the things that made other states to lack Nddc present in other states. Even the little that we had, some politicians hijacked the project that was due for the Abians. Now we have somebody who can be able to speak and at the same time attract projects for Abia State. What is the problem that they cannot be able to allow that man to be screened as President Muhammadu Buhari has nominated him? They should try to throw away politics most of the time and focus on the interests of the people instead of their own personal gain. That is what I have to say on that. Now, about President Muhammadu Buhari signing any bill out of the country, is the right step also in the right direction, in as much as there is no law restricting the president from signing a bill from any part of the country or from any part of the. For instance, if President Muhammadu Buhari is in his place in Daura and a particular bill is being sent to him, he must not be in Asorok before he will sign it. So the same thing applicable to him whenever he travels out of the country for a private visit.
All right, go ahead. Quickly wrap up.
Yes, not on what do you call it? Not on a kind of his own leave or thereabout. So I expect the people to understand it and at the same time let them see a need for them to join hands with the president in order to move this country forward. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Welcome to the conversation.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Thank you. Well, my name is Mr. Chijoke from Spirit. Well, I want to thank you all, mostly Mr. Augusto, for the first time he has made me happy. The way about some issues, I so much I just want to thank him. Because to me, whatever I want to, I tell people that I don't talk because I belong to this place or belong to this place. But whatever I want to talk, I talk generally for people to understand the truth and also for people to benefit from the government. So what we are talking about is the masses. It's not individually. So I want to tell APC in Aden to forget issue of stress. If schools are qualified to do their job, then they allow him and also support him. You understand? So I want them to forget issue of I belong to this group or I belong to this group. What we are talking about is Abia and Nigeria as a whole. So let us focus on what we can see to benefit the masses, because people are suffering in Nigeria and Abia State. People are suffering, and we need to touch life. We need to touch life because whatever you are doing in this state and you don't touch life, God will not be happy with you. Because number one thing God likes is somebody who can make somebody happy. If you can make your fellow person happy, you can make that person to live long life. Not to make somebody angry every time. So I am saying generally that we need to support that Mr. Wogu.
Okay.
And on issue of other things about Mr. President.
Yes, you have 10 seconds, please.
Mr. President has the right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take the final call on the program this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Meze.
Good morning, my brother.
It's Alvin. I'm calling you from Banda.
You're welcome. You have 30 seconds, please.
There's no problem. I think we are not against the president traveling, or having his private visit. It's very, very wrong for you to tell me that the chief of staff will travel from Nigeria here to UK only to give him a document to sign. Why do we have a provision for the vice president? Why do we have provision, in our constitution that when the president is not around, he should transmit power to the vice president? It's wrong. Did Abba Kyari travel with his personal money? Is he not a part of our resources? Michael, it's wrong when you say you are preaching with change and you are not living by it. The president have closed land borders and everything, telling us that he wants us to promote what we have in Nigeria. But he will continue to travel abroad for medical checkup and everything. And somebody is telling us that somebody will, after the signing of that one, maybe by tomorrow, Abba Kyari will travel again to give him another document. Maybe before he comes back, Abba Kyari will be in UK for 5 times. I mean, it's wrong. If you are preaching for change, let us see that change. We've not seen anything different
we have
in
to
all
go
these
now.
things they are preaching.
Thank you.
Whether they are having Nddc, but what we are telling them, let them bring dividends of democracy in these areas they are representing. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. We've come to the end of the program this morning on Flow 94.9 FM, the platform. It will return on Friday when we bring another issue as it concerns Abia State and also as it concerns Nigeria as a nation. Mr. Ogochukwu Emezue, thank you very much for being part of the program this morning.
Yes, it has been quite an intellectual discourse. All I can say is that we should all do well to make sure that we put our nation first and our state first in anything we do.
Thank you very much. And also, we also had Chief Mike Ozoemena, a member of the APC, on the platform this morning. Well, many thanks to the producer of the program, Samson Eze. Do join me again on this program on Friday at 10 a.m. when we bring up another issue. My name is Michael Oni. Do enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.